I really wanted to talk about a topic today that I'm not familiar with, so I wanted to give a preference and I really wanted to encourage comments down below about this topic. So I really wanted to talk about people who were born in the Muslim faith because I wasn't. I converted about 8 years ago, Alhamdulillah, and I know many people who have been born in Islam, and I really wanted to get more insight on this topic and talk about your personal experiences with your families on how Islam was passed down, if it was strong, if it was weak, how did you come to a firm understanding about Islam? Because I often think about one conversation that I had, and it was very dear to me. It was an experience where this person was discussing about family history, and it was saying that down the line of our family lineage, guys, can you please tell me how to pronounce that word? Family lineage. Somewhere along the generations of our family, there was a strong Muslim, and eventually, as generations came closer and closer, it weakened. Somewhere along the line of history, our Islamic understanding had weakened. So that's why our parents or our grandparents don't have pure understanding of Islam or concrete foundation, because somewhere along the line the baton of Islam was not passed, and there's a weakening, right? And we have to really dissect about who was the strong Muslim, like envisioning that person who converted to Islam, because obviously Islam, there had to be converts in, for example, like Indo-Pak area. When we're looking at that in the Indus Valley area, South Asia, when we're noticing like Muslims in that area, a strong Muslim had to come to that area and then build their homes and create a foundation for Islam, right? So how did it, like visualizing that strength and how it weakened, it's really sad, and it really puts things in perspective of now, like, are we going to pass the baton in a firm manner to our children, and are they going to pass it on and on? So it's this like idea of looking at our history and learning how we can be better. And I think like when we think about a weakening in a system, we often think about what were their priorities, because obviously for that strong Muslim to pass it on, they must have viewed it as like the top priority, and when they passed it on, their children must have not seen it as a big priority, maybe because they needed to make the economy changed, maybe their environment changed. So we have to look at those factors. And then another factor could be that maybe they got more spoiled, maybe they got more relaxed, maybe they saw luxury for the first time. Like, what happens because there's this level of weakness that occurs? When I look back at like the history and how we are today, two things that come to mind. Number one is never give up with seeking knowledge. Never give up on that path to know more knowledge, to seek it in the right manner. It's really, really important to never give up on that, because shaitan will get you when you have zero knowledge about a certain topic. It's really important to just obtain knowledge, because it really helps with the whispers, but it really, really helps to pass the baton to the next generation, because often the millennials from age 24 to 42, we were never able to ask why to our parents, because they would give us an answer that was very vague, or they would say, no, don't ask me this, or this and that. Asking why was a very taboo thing, and it didn't go anywhere. Whereas now, when our children ask us, we're able to utilize proper sources and give them an answer and humble ourselves in the right manner to obtain an answer for them. So never let your child, like, keep letting your child ask why in the right manner. Their curiosity, just nurture it in the best way, but never back down from a why of your child. Always be on the lookout to obtain knowledge for yourself and to help them in their journey of knowledge about Islam. And number two, what I've reflected on is using our tongue to speak up, because what we've noticed is we just follow our forefathers and look where we end up, weak. We have to speak up with our, like, try to, prevent actions that are haram or like iffy or cultural practices. We have to utilize our bodies, our actions, our tongue, like everything in our power to to do what's to remove, negate any bad thing that doesn't belong to Islam, right? So we need to, like, if we're living with our grandparent, like your parents, and you're raising, like, you have a multi-generational home, there's gonna be a lot of friction, and that's okay to have friction, because you're preserving the new generation while trying to let the old generation have its place, and not trying to mingle all of it together, because each generation is so unique within its way. So I just really think that we're the generation that we can speak up, because if we're just obeying what our parents did and being too kind to them, being too soft to them, we're just completely weakening the potential of the next generation as well. It kind of like relates to my previous video, this whole topic about passing the baton. One of the things that I was talking about, the main topic, was about sacrifice. And when you're viewing a strong Muslim family, they have sacrificed a lot, meaning they have sacrificed wealth, sacrificed people, pleasing people, have sacrificed status, health. There was something that they sacrificed in order to prioritize or put Islam in its priority, because every generation, religion will not, like, it's hard to hold on to religion, okay? So the strongest point in our family history of being Muslim, they had to sacrifice. And I think that's a connection that we can bring to now, is that we have to sacrifice. Even though we have access to buying things for our children, I've talked about this many times, okay? I strongly believe that spoiling our children too much is not going to make them, like, they may be okay, like, this is better than Islam, you know? Like, we have to be very wary in all of our actions. And so that's what I'm saying, like, what is our sacrifices that we're doing to bring the value of Islam forward, because it's not going to come from thin air. Like, yeah, there's a pattern. We take patterns that we think happened of strong Muslims in the past. Islamic history is a good place to start, not just trying to guess how our family got here, how Islam got in our family. Like, that's one aspect to kind of take a guess, but we have those evident pieces throughout history as well. So that is my rant. Inshallah, Allah makes us have a strong, pious, makes us amongst the pious groups of friendships, and may Allah grant a strong ummah. Like, obviously our ummah is strong because we have the Prophet, we're the ummah of the Prophet ﷺ. So Ameen to all that. We got this, inshallah. Allah's mercy.